What's going on, guys? This is Sin, and today I really wanted to show you guys the proof that Unchained is really the best deck at the current moment. Honestly, I keep hearing people say that this deck loses to Nibiru, it loses to Bestial Druid's Worm, and none of these things are true. If you actually know how to sequence your combo correctly, honestly, this deck doesn't lose to anything. It's ridiculous. And I'm even willing to go as far as to say that if you actually know exactly how to play this deck, you will pretty much never be in a bad position where you insta-lose to something. Like, even Dweller, you can kind of still do something about it. And this deck can even play under Shifter and everything. It's ridiculous, honestly. It's the closest deck there is to perfection. And it's also very consistent and has the space to play non-engine cards like Handshaps, Triple Tactic Talons, Thrust, etc. So yeah, going first, you're always making like 6 interruptions with 2 cards, which is a lot because you have your double negate with the Caesar, you got your link off with the Unchained Soul of Rage, the banish off of the SPL Knight twice, and then you've got the pop with the escape, which is ridiculous. And again, you can also play around and through a bunch of Handshaps. So today I will of course show you guys a bunch of combos on that. But before this video goes any further, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Of course, I am, putting a lot of effort into making these combos and deck profile at the same time. So 1,000 likes is what we're asking for. I know we can do it. I believe in you guys. And now let's get right into it. Alrighty, so for combo number 1, it's very simple. Obviously, it's just if you got to the basic 2-card combo. So let's say a Ruha and a Chop card or a Spell card. It doesn't really matter too much because honestly, in Unchained, literally every path leads to Rome. Because every card, when they get destroyed, it summons the monster that you want to summon anyways. They all do the same thing. And, Druid and Logbridges does nothing against this deck, and Nibiru and Druid's Worm are also very bad. And I will show it to you guys why in a moment. But yeah, obviously you destroy your Chap card with the Aruha, and then you summon the Sharvara. This is very important. And then you destroy the Sharvara in order to summon the... you summon the Shyama, and then you destroy the Aruha to summon the Sharvara. Yo, my bad. All their names are identical, okay? But yeah, so far we are at summon number 3. And then you link off for the Yama, and then you go Chilling 1, Chilling 2. You set the Chap card, and then you're going to be searching for the thingy, the Sarama. And then you get Droll. It doesn't matter because that was the only search anyways. And then you destroy your Chap card with the Shyama, and then that triggers the escape in order to summon the Sharvara. Your opponent absolutely has to use the Nibiru here. It is not optional because you are threatening the Caesar. So at this point, you are going to be getting nibbed. And with the Nibiru token and the Sarama, you can actually keep playing the game, which is really cracked when you think about it, because you can go Sarama effect, you get back the Chop card, and then destroy the Nibiru token. Since a monster was destroyed, you can banish the Yama in order to revive back an Unchained monster from the grave. And then you're going to be destroying the Sarama with the Yama, because that is like a unique part of the effect that people sometimes forget. And you're going to be destroying it to summon the Unchained Soul of Disaster. This is one of the few situations where this card is good. However, I will be honest, this card is the least necessary brick in the deck. Actually, you can live without this card if you want to. If you know exactly what you're doing too and you're a good Unchained player, you can definitely play without the Unchained Soul of Disaster. But I still recommend you to playtest a little bit with the card first. Anyways, now you're going to be linking off the Nibiru as well as the Unchained Soul of Disaster into the Unchained Soul of Rage. And you pass on a decent amount of interruptions. It's really not too bad. Destroying the Aruha with the escape can also lead to Abominable Unchained Soul to destroy a card. And then, of course, this links off, it banishes, all of that through the Nibiru. And if we were not to get Nibiru, obviously this is the full combo because we go into the Caesar, we get back the Chap, we destroy something else, and then we link off it to the Unchained Soul of Rage. We still have the Yama in the grave. Absolutely magnificent. And also, this combo did not lose to Druid's Worm. I think it was obvious, but by the time we could summon the Caesar, we didn't have the Sarama or the Yama in the graveyard. So you are summoning your Negate before getting a single light or dark in the grave. Well, I mean, you don't play any lights, but you do play some darks. So yeah, that's it for combo number 1. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get into combo number 2. Alrighty, so what can you do when you draw some hands that might be a little weirder? So for example, Sarama as well as Sharvara. Well, obviously it's still full combo. Every path leads to Rome. Again, you don't necessarily have to have like a Ruha and a Chop card. Honestly, any combination of 2 cards that can self-destruct will pretty much always be game. So yeah, you summon the Sharvara, the Shyama, and then you link off with the Sharvara. And then this time you search the Aruha, and then you destroy it to summon the Unchained Soul of Disaster. And then Shyama will destroy it, and then revive itself back, revive back the Sarama. So that's the nice play that you can do with Unchained Soul of Disaster. It does make some hands much better, actually, when you have some weird combinations of hands. And then this is still the full board. So, Unchained Soul of Rage, Caesar, and the Escape, with a hand that some people might struggle a little bit with. obviously this is still full combo. And honestly, a lot of other combinations of hands can also be full combo. Like, for example, this hand is full combo even though we don't have a single Unchained card, quote-unquote, because Fiendish Rhino Warrior kind of gets you there, and the Dark Contract into the Vice Requiem into the Machine X also gives you a Fiend body on the board, which is very nice. And also it does allow you to destroy your own cards, so it can be like an extender when you draw like that in a trap card. But when you draw Rhino Warrior, just a little different, but it's still pretty much the same thing. And you do have to summon the Machine X on top of the Vice Requiem. This is not mandatory, otherwise you are locked under DDDs while it is on the field. And then when you summon the Machine X on top, you're no longer locked under anything. But yeah, now you search with the Yama, and you Foolish for the Shavara, and you search for the Aruha. So this is one of the few combos that loses both to Nibiru, Drool, and Bestials. That is kind of like the only issue here. But the other 2-card combos, they're very safe from pretty much everything. Because honestly, you're especially playing with a lot of fire and water attributes, not even with that many darks. But yeah, obviously you still summon the Sarama, destroy the Aruha, go for the Shiyama, and then Unchained Soul of Rage. And then now you're going for the Shiyama Grave Effect. This is such a ridiculously good Grave Effect that even Tier Elements players are playing it. It's ridiculous. Like, you can destroy the Kaleido Heart, the Trivi Karma, the Solik, etc. It's insane. But yeah, Sarama is going to be special summoning the Shavara, and now you go into the Caesar, and again, it is the exact same setup as I just showcased like 2 seconds ago, and you yet again have the Unchained Soul Lord of Yama in the graveyard. Literally everything is full combo. Okay, so now I will be showing something very, very interesting, and you absolutely need to know this, because if you don't actually know how to win against Flunderies, you might struggle, because especially if you know that you're playing against Flunderies and you're still making the same board that does nothing, because Unchained Soul of Rage, the Link 2, is useless, and then Caesar is useless because they only work on monsters that were special summoned, and Flunderies, they're only normal summoning monsters. With that being said, there is still a way to completely insta-win against Flunderies, and the good players will definitely know what to do in this situation. And also, I'm showing another hand that is still full combo. Like, again, literally everything is game. But yeah, you're going to be normal summoning the Rakea and then destroy the Wailing of the Unchained Soul. I didn't even know the name of the card. I just say, oh, the continuous spell. They're all the same. And then summon the Unchained Soul of Shiyama. And this, look, you always need to identify when you have the full combo. This is when you have it, right? When you summon the Shiyama and you destroy your other monster to summon the Sharvara. And then when you're linking up these two monsters, you know you have it. It's so obvious. Even if we had to use our normal summon, it's fine. We don't have to use our normal summon for the Sarama, because we can still special summon it from the deck whenever we destroy a trap card with the Aruha. So as you can see right here, doesn't necessarily have to be your normal summon. And then you destroy the Aruha with the Sarama, summon the Unchained Soul of Disaster. A lot of combos where this card is not too bad. But again, if you don't really like drawing this card too often, yeah, feel free to side it out. It can easily be a card that you side out going second, as a matter of fact. But it really depends on the deck that you're playing against and the boards and everything. So you keep that into consideration. Anyways, Unchained Soul of Disaster, the Shiyama, destroy the Unchained Soul of Disaster, revive back the Aruha, and this is where it gets extremely interesting. So I'm not trying to make Caesar against Flundery. So what am I trying to do in order to have like a very big board? Well, it's very simple. I'm trying to go into Darius and then Machine X. This is a double interruption, and it lines up extremely well against Flunderies, because you're going to be able to attach the monsters underneath, and it doesn't like destroy, because otherwise they could start chain blocking against you, and that would be very, very bad. But yeah, now they go Field Spell, and then we can just destroy that, so it's not like they can have cards in the Banish to start chain blocking us here. And then normal summon Rabina, that's not going to be doing too much. I can just absorb. And then it's not like our opponent could bait us with the triple tactic talents first, because this is the only monster effect. And the escape is really good at dealing with the field spell. And then when, if they choose to normal summon again, you just go, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna attach. So they had to use up their normal summon and their extra normal summon, quote unquote, of the field spell. And they're not even going anywhere. And by the time this talents resolve, it's not going to do anything. Like, if they steal the Machine X, all they can do is put in an attack and then jump over the Unchained Soul of Shiyama, and then they have to pass turn and it doesn't do anything. Or they could draw 2 cards, and even if they draw like something decent, it's not going to do anything. Like, they could draw like the field spell again and like another Flunderies monster. It's going to be of absolutely no value, and you still win the game. With like a very minimalistic setup, you still have the Unchained Soul of Yama in the graveyard for next turn. So you could go like Unchained Soul of Shiyama, destroy something, and then trigger, and then summon back a monster, etc., and just play the game from there. So yeah, everything is free for Unchained. It's ridiculous. Like, even the quote-unquote bad matchup is really not that bad if you're good with your deck. Alrighty, so I just want you guys to know that this deck can also play Shifter, which is kind of wild. What the heck was this? Anyways, yeah, of course, against Tier Elements, it's even better because they lose way harder to Shifter than, honestly, just this deck does to Shifter. You can still kind of make somewhat of a board under Shifter, like Unchained Soul of Rage, but or you can make like Caesar if you want to. It's not that hard. It's just that you can't like have the graveyard effect of Sharvara or like Unchained Soul of Yama in the grave. And you only need like 4 summons in order to start summon a bunch of monsters with high attack. And this is exactly 8,000 damage. We destroy the Sharon, and then we jump over with we attack with pretty much everything. And this is game. So yeah, if you're playing Tier Elements and you get shifted, make sure that yeah, you have somewhat of a decent defense against Unchained, because otherwise it might be a little rough. You might get OTK'd by something like this. So yeah, that's it for the combos. Now let's get into the deck profile. Alrighty, so for the deck list, I try to make it as simple as possible. So I'm playing a bunch of one-ofs, and again, of course, I will be honest, all these cards that you see here are the quote-unquote bricks. Like, they're not really ideal. Abominable Unchained Soul is actually not a really big brick. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's actually good to draw because you can chain block and make it so that your traps and your spell, whatever, are unashable. So that's actually not too bad. Vice King Requiem is a Takatumborg, but it's not a Garnet. As a matter of fact, I don't think this deck has a single Garnet, because all of your cards can summon from the hand anyways if they get destroyed, so who cares. Unchained Soul of Disaster, another one of the bricks. You can live without this card if you want to, but I did show a lot of combos where this card was really cool, so it is 100% up to you. It's a decent card for both of its effects, honestly. And then Shiyama, of course. I mean, it's unfortunate when you draw it, but it is what it is. It's still such a great card. It's not like you can live without it. Definitely no. Same thing with Sarama. I mean, it's not a really bad brick, honestly. Like, it still allows you to combo when you draw it. Same thing with the Rakia, and honestly, even Fiend the Shriner Warrior sometimes. These cards are the most tolerable cards to draw, as well as the Abominable Unchained Soul. The only ones that are just, like, horrendous are these 3. And every other card in the deck is just fantastic to draw. I mean, Tour Guide is amazing. Sharvara is amazing. I mean, this card is insane when you have, like, Tour Guide and Sharvara. They imperm your Tour Guide, and then you just chain the Sharvara, and then your Tour Guide still resolves. And you full combo through the imperm because it just no longer has a target, so it does nothing at all. Aruha is insane as well, obviously. And then the 2 trap cards. You could also get away with only playing 2 Chamber and 1 Continuous Spell, or playing 3 and 3 and 1 copy of the Continuous Spell. That is also very respectable. But I really wanted to keep this deck at 40 and keep it as clean and simple as possible for you guys. And then, of course, 3 Abomination's Prison. This card searches any Unchained card, and it has a graveyard effect just like the other cards. So this card is never a brick, even if you draw multiples. It is fantastic. One of the best cards of the deck for sure. Tour Guide being probably the best, and then Sharvara is also, like, absolutely cracked. 3 Dark Contract with a Gate to search your Vice King Requiem to go into the Machine X, and then Triple Prosperity. You could also play a little, few less copies if you want to. And then 9 non-engine cards, so this could be pretty much anything depending on the format. But right now, I want to say that Ash and Imperm are very, very good. You kind of just always want to play them. And then Jewel and Logbird, I mean, it could be Nibiru, it could be Triple Tactic Talon, Thrust, Change of Heart, whatever you want. Book of Eclipse, Book of Moon. It again completely depends on what people choose to play. So yeah, 40 card deck list. Keep it as minimalistic as possible. For the extra deck, 1 Zeus, of course, 1 Machine X, double copies of the High King Caesar. This is so incredibly good that you really need the second one. Sometimes the other effect to like boost your monsters by 800 attack can actually randomly come up, but it's not gonna happen too often. Anyways, 1 Darius, so obviously this is the way that can happen. So you can make this with 2 level 3 Fiend monsters, and then you go into the Machine X, and then absorb 2 Flunderese monsters, so this is how you win against Flunder. But this is also how you make a 4 Material Zeus going second to break boards, because this Machine X is pretty much like a Downward Magician on top of your Darius. It's really good. Underworld Goddess to clear like towers. You might be able to live without it. It also has some other neat effects, but it's very difficult to make. You need a lot of monsters. And then the Unchained Abomination, very good card. Of course, that's a Link 4. It's a little harder to summon, but you can still summon it easily using the Unchained Soul Vanquished. So going second, this card's insane. Same thing, of course, with Unchained Soul Vanquish. And the other cards, I mean, they're especially going first. Not really, but in Unicorn, this is when you are locked under Fiend only. Aruha locks you under Fiend only. So sometimes you can't go into SPL Knight, that's a warrior. 2 Unchained Soul of Yama, obviously this is obvious. Unchained Soul of Rage. SPL Knight. This is unfair to summon off of Unchained Soul of Rage. This card should get banned. Like, the interaction with these two is just completely ridiculous. And then Muckracker from the Underworld. You could also play the Griffin combo if you want to. Some other cards that you can play, so like I said, Nibiru, Shifter for the side deck, very good. And then they can turn a spell, anti-spell, so that you don't lose to like spell cards that might beat you, but not really, because even if your opponent has Ultimate Slayer, you're still guaranteed like a bunch of interruptions, so it's not even that good. And then Sandgan, because you can summon this off of Tour Guide, and then when you link it off, you can search for the Droll, or you can search for DD Chrome. So it's really good against Mana Dome, and DD Crow can be good against some other decks, like even Tear Elements, actually. But Droll and Logbird, I mean, this is like insane if you guarantee to search it, and you're making full combo. It's ridiculous. And then Mistaken Arrest, if you draw this card, there's pretty much a 0% chance you lose. Like, it's just, like, this card is completely stupid, and again, you can easily live under, like, your own Mistaken Arrest. It doesn't hurt you too much. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile and the combo video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.